Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the Today Show. Look who's back. OMG, how long has it been? Sorry, what was that I hear you say? Too long, I know, but I'm back now. I'm more livelier and excited as ever. You know I'm always excited. And I have got an absolute banger of a show to kickstart your week. So let's get cracking. Tonight I'm joined by Rashid Bayley, who grew up in a Christian family but converted to Islam around 9 years ago after he spent a year exploring spirituality and searching for the truth. Deeply rooted in the music industry, he wrote, produced and performed his own work before stepping away at a time of major opportunity. Today, Rashid has discovered creativity through Islam, using poetry within the beautiful boundaries of faith. Rashid is here after being recommended by a friend and hopes to share his journey to Islam while using poetry to spread meaningful messages. He also hopes his story inspires others to notice the signs Allah places in their life. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Rashid. Welcome to the Today Show. How are you?
Wa alaikum salam, sister. I'm very good. Alhamdulillah. Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. So why don't you just kick off and tell us all about your early life and how you got into this journey to Islam?
Early life, young, energetic child.
That sounds like me now, and I'm not young. Or...
That's it. We're always young at heart, alhamdulillah. Very supportive family. As you had said, kind of family members that were, you would say, Christian, practicing Christians, others that weren't necessarily Christian but believed in God. So that influence was always in my life, having that level of gratitude and there being a higher being of some sort. I used to go Sunday school sometimes, not all the time, but as I grew older, I tended to kind of not be so steered towards religion, but more of a spiritual journey. Knowing and feeling something higher was out there, and so that's where I just kind of consistently had that quest and that search.
Did you have, you've heard the term Chrislam? Have you heard that term?
I haven't actually.
Have you not?
No.
So there's some people who are born Christian and then they're transitioning to Islam and they're like, okay, I'll follow Chrislam for a little bit. Which
I didn't know that
have
one.
You not?
I haven't heard of that one. No, that's an interesting one. I like that one
yeah,
actually.
It's quite
Chrislam.
cool.
That's cool.
So you obviously went to church and on Sundays and that kind of thing. Is that where the passion for music started?
Not really. Actually, that was more of like a young age. So in my household, I had family members that were into music. Uncle was a DJ. So that kind of influence was always around me. I had older cousins that used to kind of do music and things like that. So I was always trying to emulate them or just influenced by, that type of environment. And again, I wasn't necessarily heavily into church, but sometimes I would go on a Sunday, go Sunday school sometimes. I had with my gran and some of my gran's friends and stuff like that. So, but as I got older, I kind of stepped away from searching for religion and just thought, well, just looking for a bigger purpose ultimately, that, why we're here.
So it was the elders in your life that kind of influenced your music.
Yeah.
And what about production? How did you get involved into that?
So one day, my friend and I, a good friend, best friend at the time, we were inseparable. We decided to start kind of writing our own music. We did so.
Is there a particular genre that you...
It was kind of mainly just kind of like hip hop, like that type of thing. And we went to college, we studied it. So, and my friend actually, he had more of a musical background where he went to church and he had played the drums and such. So he had like a good production background. Myself, I was always writing from a young age, writing stories, making up stories, writing my own raps and stuff like that. So the writing side of it was quite special to me. That was the part that I kind of had the most inclination towards. And then as we grew up, we kind of established our own songwriting and production company. We kind of met and networked with people within the industry. We'd done our own videos, funded our own work. We managed to kind of reach like MTV and other stations and things like that. So,
is MTV still going?
I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know. I'm gonna guess and say yeah, but I'm not 100% sure. I'll say probably, maybe. Yeah. But that was pretty much it, that trajectory.
So you obviously you reverted back to Islam like 9 years ago, or converted, if that's your word of choice. But you spent a year kind of exploring the religion and finding the truth. So within that year, how did it impact your music writing and the production side?
Yeah, so in that year specifically, like many people that embrace Islam, if you're kind of going through difficult times and hardships, you know, it's often a point where you reflect quite a lot. And at that point, it was time for me, I felt, when I was embracing Islam and I felt that this was the truth. It was the next part of my life. Many aspects of the music that I was doing, it didn't feel like it was aligned. So I felt it was quite necessary for me to step away from it. It was one of the hardest things that I'd actually had to do in my life at that point, because I had so many friends and family members that were we were all so heavily invested in it.
Well, it was your life.
Yeah, and we were doing well within that particular space and sphere. So it was a very hard decision to step away. And when I embraced Islam, like many people that do, sometimes, you know, you go from one extreme to the other. And that creative aspect, you know, I completely just threw it away almost. I tried to ignore it even. And
that's interesting. I ask why. Why did you try to ignore it? Because it's
I think,
a talent, obviously, Allah gave you.
Yeah, but I think at the time, I just felt that probably I was maybe a bit of an extreme person, in as much as when I'm kind of fully devoted to something, I'm all in. So at that point, it was just, no, I just wanted to focus on being Muslim, my deen, this new way of life. And sometimes you also hear aspects of music being haram and, you know, aspects of it that aren't permissible. So I kind of threw away the baby with the bathwater, as the saying goes. So, which over time I realised wasn't necessarily the best approach, but everything for a reason. I'm still kind of glad it happened in that way, because it allowed me to focus on my deen, being Muslim, and the creative aspect never actually left me. Sometimes I just found myself jotting down ideas and that. So keeping those creative juices flowing was always there, to be fair.
So you left music entirely for about a year or so and focused on the deen?
Well, no, I'd actually left it completely and didn't look back. So when I embraced Islam, I completely just turned away from it. It was difficult because, you know, my close friend, you know, they pursued music, and it was kind of stepping. You wanted to step away from the music, but not necessarily the people. You still love the people, your friends and stuff and such, but it's sometimes difficult. So very, very challenging point in my life, and completely left it. Thankfully, I had my uncle was always encouraging me to remain creative, and my wife also. She's always, you know, just championing me to be creative and not kind of just throw away your talents and such. And that's when I kind of got comfortable with the idea of just revisiting it again, but in a way that I felt was kind of more aligned with where I am now in life, and in a way that, inshallah, can, you know, be something that is pleasing to Allah as well.
Inshallah. So was there something in particular that led you to explore Islam? Obviously, you've mentioned the truth.
Yeah.
And you said you found the truth. What is that for you? You know, because I've got revert friends, and people who I've spoken to are other reverts. They always say Islam is truth.
Yeah.
And I'm always interested to hear about these journeys and how they started and what it was. Sometimes it's just one verse in the Quran. Somebody said, somebody's shown you, whatever. So I'd really like to know what it was for you.
The details, I mean, I wish if we had more time I could go into specifics, but what I will say is that it was at a time where I was willing to kind of accept whatever the truth was, and as long as it was kind of made apparent to me. You know, calling out to God and saying, if you're out there, just please help me, please guide me, going through a difficult stage in my life. I actually looked into Islam, and the first time I looked into it wasn't actually when I embraced it, which to me in hindsight was kind of very powerful, because it kind of shows that Allah guides you when He knows you're ready, not when you think you're ready. And so in that process and looking at different religions and different theories of why we're here, at that point, it was quite surreal, because I had many events that took place that felt that they were just too powerful to be a coincidence. You know, when I started to connect the dots, I just felt this can't be by chance. And these events were specifically calling me towards Islam. And at that point, I suppose I was subjectively satisfied. My own personal experiences made me feel that this way of life was the truth. But I wasn't satisfied with that. I also wanted to be objectively satisfied. I also wanted to be intellectually satisfied with Islam. So doing evening classes and spending time with people of more knowledge and learning from them, to me it was clear and apparent that it's a way of life that allows to have a cohesive society for everyone. All of the ills that we see in society now, it addresses them and it fixes them. And if you approach it with a sincere and unbiased heart, then inshallah Allah will make it clear and apparent to you as well.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
And what about your family? How did they feel when you embraced Islam, or are they still Christians?
Yeah, so alhamdulillah, my family, I love them to bits, so supportive of every aspect, even when, hopefully they forgive me, even at points where I was probably a little bit too much to handle. You come in and you have too much zeal sometimes. So they're very patient with me, very supportive of my decision, very accommodating into the changes within my life. I'm still very close to them. We love and support each other. So I'm very blessed to have them, in my life, because I know many reverts or converts, they don't have, they're not able to say that, they have some really difficult situations. So, I thank Allah for them as well, and how they allowed me to kind of embrace Islam without any difficulty.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
And you said earlier, like, your uncle, he always encouraged you to maintain your creative flair and natural talent that you've obviously, mashallah, been blessed with. And you have an incredible wife who's championing you. So was it a combination of your uncle and your wife that allowed you to return to your creative expression again more recently? Yes,
because it was literally, my uncle was always kind of just championing me and just saying, just pursue the creative side. And I did, and I always felt like I would return at some point. But then when meeting my wife, I think she was just that extra force and push, may Allah bless her, to say, just renew your intentions and, just give it another go and just try and spread positive messages, inshallah. So I thank them both, but obviously extra special thanks to the missus for that extra push. You can't,
That's it.
Without doing that.
That's it. You can give her that $5 later as well.
That's it. Brown envelope.
So how do you balance creativity, like, with your Islamic values? Because I'm guessing you don't really, do that via hip hop anymore.
Yeah, well, I think at the moment the things that I've been doing have kind of been spoken word, poetry, without any kind of backing instrumentals and such.
Do you play instruments too, or is that more
I
your
don't
friend?
play an instrument. I kind of used to dabble around on the keyboard a bit. I could kind of do what needed to be done, but I wasn't like super classically trained or anything like that. But I knew how to get what I wanted as an end result. But in terms of just like balancing both, I think I've come to a point where, rather trying to make it a balance, I want it to kind of be a bit more cohesive, in as much as they kind of work as one. Try and use this creative aspect to promote messages that are aligned with Islam, the right type of morals and principles and things like that. So I kind of just, when I have creative ideas, I try and just come from an honest and sincere place as possible, to convey key important messages that hopefully not only serve as an outlet for myself, but hopefully of benefit for others, inshallah.
Absolutely. I mean, how long have you actually been doing like your spoken word or your poetry?
So I've been writing many years throughout my life. But in terms of like returning to the poetry and spoken word, it's quite interesting because I've just been dabbling, writing lines down here and there. Sometimes I scroll through my phone and I can see things all the way back to like 2017 and stuff. But I think it's of recent where I wanted to kind of make more of an effort to have it as an outlet, but put together more finished pieces and kind of just share it. Other people as well that I know have been very encouraging and supportive, and saying, you should share it. They found benefit from it. So I also owe a lot of thanks to them, just in terms of giving me that encouragement and that push to share. And if it's of benefit to anyone, then just alhamdulillah for that. Thank Allah for that.
So I know that you're going to perform one of your
Inshallah.
poems for us this evening called
Inshallah.
Silver Lining. But before you do that, I just would like to ask, what message would you like viewers to take from your journey?
I think generally speaking, sometimes we should just try and do our best to take the time out to reflect on, why we're here, our purpose in life, and ask from a sincere place as possible. Call out to, Creator, God, and then pay attention to the signs is what I would say. Because sometimes, it's these small micro signs that actually lead us to a bigger picture and can lead us to guidance. So just try and call out from a sincere place, and pay attention to the signs, and, inshallah, you'll be guided. We'll be guided, inshallah.
Yeah, inshallah. It's just, for me as well, it's kind of reflect, and just have an open mind and an open heart.
Yeah.
And Allah will guide you.
Absolutely. Just trying to find that sincerity as well, inshallah.
Inshallah. Right, you ready?
Inshallah.
Come on then, let's hear it. So this is your poem called Silver Lining.
Yeah.
Bismillah.
Bismillah. So just as a bit of a context, Islamically, we're encouraged to be optimistic, to not be in despair. Mental health today is a topic that is heavily discussed. So I wanted to try and come from that perspective of, encouraging others to believe in themselves and not despair through dark times. Inshallah. Bismillah.
Oh, mashallah, that is beautiful, brother.
Thank you very
Beautiful. I love that unlearn what we were taught. That is so, so true, as the rest of the words in that beautiful poem. So
Thank you.
please tell us all where we can find these beautiful words. Are you on socials? Please tell everyone your handles or wherever.
Jazakallah. Thank you, sister. Yeah,
Wherever
so
else, so they can follow you.
Inshallah. So the usual socials like Instagram and YouTube, Rashid Bayley, Rashid Bayley.
Bayley, not BAI.
I know, that's so common as well. BAY, yeah.
Bayley.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Thank
Allah
you.
bless you, sister.
I've really enjoyed having you on and
Thank
hearing more about your journey, and I wish you all the best with it.
Thank you.
And keep doing those beautiful poems and stories.
Inshallah.
Thank you so
It's
much.
been an honour. Thank you so much.
Thank
Take
you
care.
so much. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Right, how lovely was that? I've really enjoyed that. Right, don't go anywhere because I've got another wonderful guest coming up after this short break. Assalamu alaikum.